My fellow Australians, are you tired of paying some of the highest power bills in the world? Well, let me share something with you. Australia sits on around 30% of the world's uranium supply. Now, for perspective, that's enough to power the entire United States of America 25 times over, Japan 98 times over, or Australia an astonishing 427 times over. Yet here we are, stuck paying ridiculously high energy prices due to a federal ban on nuclear energy that prevents us from tapping into this immense resource. Here's an interesting fact for you. Nuclear energy is by far the most efficient energy source we have access to. For example, did you know that just 1 kilogram of uranium can produce the same amount of energy as 1 million kilograms of coal? And whilst coal remains a vital part of our current energy mix, nuclear offers a cleaner, more efficient option for the future. Unlike solar and wind farms, which require thousands of acres to produce an equivalent amount of energy, a single nuclear power plant can achieve this in a tiny fraction of the space. Now, of course, whenever you mention nuclear, safety is always the first concern. But over the last 3 decades, nuclear power has consistently shown fewer fatalities per terawatt hour of electricity produced than coal, oil, natural gas, and even renewable sources like wind and solar. This includes the Fukushima incident, which, had they not ignored repeated warnings about the adequacy of their flood protection systems, would never have happened. Moreover, nuclear power has minimal impact on wildlife, especially when you compare it to the over 1 million bird and bat fatalities caused by wind turbines every year and the habitat disruption caused from large solar farms. Nuclear energy has been unfairly vilified by some of the most effective propaganda campaigns in our country's history. A renewable energy-based net zero target is not a luxury we can afford while we have Australian families living in their cars. If the major parties were even half serious about achieving net zero carbon, they would have to consider nuclear energy. It is the only carbon neutral energy source efficient enough to be viable replacement for coal. It's a national disgrace that Australia, with over 30% of the world's uranium in its backyard, continues to lag behind other developed nations in adopting nuclear power. We are here literally sitting on a solution to our energy crisis, yet political cowardice keeps us stuck in the past. We must reopen the discussion on nuclear. It's time to repeal the sections of the ARPANS Act of 1998 and the EPBC Act of 1999 that specifically prohibit the approval and construction of nuclear power plants in Australia. We must put the needs of Australian families first and repeal the outdated federal ban on nuclear energy immediately. While the current Labor government hands you your own tax money back in the form of energy subsidies to help pay for the crisis that they themselves created, One Nation wants to address the root cause of the problem and fix it once and for all. Don't let the major parties continue to keep nuclear off the table. Vote One Nation for genuine energy solutions that put Australians first. And if you received any value from this video, please like and subscribe. It helps more than you know. And as always, thank you for your support.